The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Wrestling with Johners, Wrestling with Johners Live, episode 298. Only 2 episodes away, or 3 if you include this, from the magical episode 300.
Big 300.
I'm going to introduce my guest right now from New Zealand, the newest recruit to AEW Switchblade. What's that? Hold on a minute.
Excuse me?
Hello. Yes, it's not Switchblade, Jay White. It's the Immortal Wrestling promoter. Gotcha. Okay, thanks. Thanks, boss. Thanks. From Immortal Wrestling, I've got Jay White. How you doing, Jay? Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming.
I'm great. Thanks, Jonas. Thanks for showing me that. How are you doing, mate?
I am doing amazing, and I always have to play that little trick, that little skit every time I see you, every time I have you on the show. But a good friend of mine, Jay White, of course, the promoter of Immortal Wrestling. And today we are going to be looking ahead to May the 27th from the Venom Nightclub. We are, of course, talking about
Immortal Kombat!
The next show that we're all looking forward to from Immortal Wrestling. That's the tremendous graphic that kind of in a snapshot tells you some of the fantastic talent, some of the best talent from around the UK will be at the Venom Nightclub in my hometown, Westbury in Wiltshire, 27th of May. But before we speak to Jay and before we have a rundown of all of the cards, all of the matches that have been announced so far, just a quick reminder. Some of the tremendous guests that I've had on the show over the last few weeks. And of course, who could forget the interview I had with Niwa a couple of weeks ago, doing some fantastic numbers, this interview, very, very popular guest, doing some great things. He's one of the coaches, of course, with Joel Redmond and Bullet at All-Star Wrestling South Training Academy in Salisbury. But in his own right, one of the best wrestlers in the UK, doing some fantastic things up and down the country. I've recently seen him perform for Southwest Wrestling. He's a regular for All-Star Wrestling and all over the country, and legit one of the best guys in the business. RP Davies came on the show last week as well, the brand new Odyssey Pro Wrestling champion, and of course the TNT Ignition champion. Doing amazing things in the northwest of the UK. RP Davies, fantastic interview, been very, very well received, and a full hour and a half about his boxing background, about his transition into being a professional wrestler, and all of the fantastic feuds that he's had so far. Farmstrong Toby Valentine came on the show this week, the first of 3 on the 1st of May. And Toby Valentine, what a fantastic guest, and a really, really hot prospect coming out from the south of England, spreading his wings around the southwest and further afield around the UK. Toby Valentine is such an extraordinary guest. He's one to watch and already doing some wonderful things. And of course, we've massively hyped up his exciting championship match he's got for Southwest Wrestling the 20th of May in Exmouth Pavilion against Chris Bronson, the Stallion, of course. We'll talk more about him very, very soon. 2 days ago, I spoke to Harrison Leon, who came on the show, and another wonderful young up-and-coming pro wrestler. Yeah, go and check that one out. It's a really, really fun interview with Harrison Leon. And of course, my next guest next week, I've got the Prince of Pace, Callum Newman, coming onto the show for episode 299, and the following week, Magical 300 with the host of the Nina Samuels show, former WWE NXT UK star and the current Riot Cabaret Women's Champion, Nina Samuels. Nina Samuels will be my special guest for episode 300, so check that one out. But Jay is back over to us, and of course, about this, the 27th of February from the Venom Nightclub. And it's an absolutely stacked card, talent from all over the country. And although, like I say, you have done wonders in, like I say, getting younger talent onto the card, more local talent onto the card, you really have done yourself, like I say, a fantastic justice in getting, I'd say, legendary talent and talent from all over the UK. But we are just a few weeks out now from
if that 2.5. if that.
How are you feeling? Putting your promoter's hat on now, Jay. How are you feeling? Are you excited, nervous, butterflies? Where's your mind at?
Yeah, definitely nerves. I don't think, unless you've been in the business doing this for donkeys, I think even then there's always that deep down nerves. As confident as you are, you get the butterflies, you get the start like, oh, is that happened? Oh, is that legitimate injury? Is it, what's going on? So yeah, things are nervous, but apart from that, things go well. Ticket sales exceeding expectations. That's why people click that QR code. Get your tickets now while you have the chance, please. I cannot stress how amazing this show is going to be. The lineup is stacked. The lights are going to be on bright. Titles are going to be on the line. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and every single Immortal Championship is on the line. There's even a unification match and some number one.
That is true. That is true.
And we will go through. I think there's been 7 matches announced.
Yeah.
So, let's say a really stacked lineup, and one of the hottest cards in the Southwest you're likely to have, certainly this month, and maybe for 2023. But we shall see, and you'll understand why by the end of this interview with Jay White from Immortal Wrestling, why Immortal Kombat is definitely the show to be at in just a few weeks' time. But for anybody out there that's watching us live and want to get in touch with the show, you can do. Just ping your questions through to us using your chosen device, and we'll do our very best to bring them up on screen. And yeah, you can get in touch with Jay, speak to Jay about some of the matches that you're looking forward to the most at Immortal Kombat, or any questions for Jay regarding his wrestling.
I'll just say hi.
Yeah, just to say hi. Just say hi. But also, if you're not too familiar with Immortal Wrestling, if this is the first time that you've switched on to Wrestling with Johners and you're wondering what Immortal Wrestling is all about, and thinking even more so what Immortal Kombat might be all about, we do have a little video package just to demonstrate. It's from the same venue, from the Venom Nightclub. This was 2 shows ago, just to demonstrate what an awesome venue and what awesome action you can be expecting from the Venom Nightclub on the 27th of May.
You're too kind, John. As you
Absolutely fantastic, and that's just a sample. That's a snippet of the
that
you can be expecting on the 27th of May, and that was from probably a year and a half ago. Time has absolutely flown.
Yeah,
and now we're looking forward to Immortal Kombat. But just a quick glimpse again. I'm going to bring up the graphic. There is the QR code, and we urge you just to get your phones, scan the barcode. It will take you straight through to Eventbrite, which is where you can get your ticket or your tickets now for Immortal Kombat, the 27th of May from the Venom Nightclub in Westbury, my hometown, believe it or not. But I'd say the reason why we're kind of can't stress that enough is because tickets are going very, very fast, aren't they, Jay?
Yeah, literally, I think it was over 100, if close to, if not over 100 last time we checked. I haven't checked in a few days, so it may have gone past it. I think we're going to be looking at a seller. I'm hoping we don't have to turn people away at the door, but if we do, that's not so good. A promoter wants to, but if we have to, then we will. But obviously, we will try to accommodate everyone as we can. But we really do want to sell this out. We can only do that with your help. Click it on the QR code, go to Eventbrite, get your tickets or ticket for Immortal Kombat on May 27th.
Absolutely. And the Venom Nightclub, it doesn't hold too many, probably about 150, 160, but it's an intimate venue. But it's got this kind of atmosphere about it.
Magical.
A bowl shape venue where every angle you look down onto the ring, it could be up in the balcony areas or down on the floor. Even by the dancing cages, you never know. Joe Lando might make a special appearance and do another moonsault. Like
who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Let's talk about some of the matches then, Jay, because you've got that lineup. You've got 7 matches announced so far, and if you stay till the end of this interview with Jay White from Immortal Wrestling, we do have an exclusive towards the end where we will be announcing for the first time the main event match.
Spicy.
Which championship is it going to be for, Jane?
The National Heavyweight Championship, currently held by the King of Hell himself, Damien, who has reached the over 510-day mark as champion.
Absolutely. So stay tuned.
It's a very rare feat that's done these days. You don't see that done. You normally see that done in the NWA days.
Absolutely.
You don't normally have the long reigns.
A dominant champion, Damien, and so you get to see who he'll be up against in the main event of Immortal Kombat. Let's talk about this match first of all then. This is going to be a #1 contenders match for the Immortal Wrestling Cruiserweight Championship, Jay. And you've got Callie Gray there.
The Black Rose.
So, I mean, these are 2 young, up-and-coming individuals that you've been able to acquire for the 27th of May. And this is the #1 contenders match for the Cruiserweight Championship. We're going to talk more about that championship a little bit later on, I'm sure. What can you tell us about these 2 individuals, and what sort of match can the fans in the Venom Nightclub on the 27th of May expect?
The fans can expect nothing short of something absolutely spectacular. Funny enough about Callie Gray, he actually used to be an associate of Damien as part of the Demon Death Squad, former member. So we don't know. Is that maybe going to play into it sometime down the road? Who knows? Tommy Lawrence, one of the finest, most athletic, well-built high flyers going. You don't normally see high flyers of his stature. Normally a bit more smaller, not as muscular, but this guy is raising the bar. And hopefully with Callie Gray, come May 27th, they'll just blow it out of the water.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be really, really fun. And to give you credit, as I always have done, you always like to introduce the fans of Westbury, the fans of Immortal Wrestling to newer talent, up-and-coming talent, and to have a real good mix of new and established talent. And I think this match certainly demonstrates, certainly in the Southwest where we are, 2 talents we're not too familiar with, but by the end of this match, by the end of this show, Jay, we'll be a lot more familiar with those 2 individuals, and they could, you never know, become Immortal Wrestling regulars. Yeah,
hopefully that is the plan down the line. Get the guys down as often as they can. If they're not booked elsewhere, we'll do our best to get them down. Who knows? They might be fan favourites, they might not, but we cater to the fans. But then again, it's all about finding the balance between the fans and the wrestlers. The wrestlers with the mixture of youth and inexperience against the veterans who are looking to give back. Or even some of them might just be out the way to stamp on the young guys and get out the way, saying, even though many people might say they've had their time, they're still as dominant as ever. But the fans, we want to listen to them. Who do they want to see? Who would they like us to look at? What do we want? What we want to give the fans? We want to have as much involvement as the fans as possible. And I can't stretch that enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will for sure be seeing one of them back in an Immortal Wrestling ring, because whoever comes out on top of that match will be the #1 contender, the official #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship, whether that be Callie Gray or Tommy Lawrence. What about this one here? Our first championship match of the night. And you've got Champagne Charlie, the current fighting champion, going up against a long-time rival, one-time friends, now bitter enemy in Frankie T, who was a previous champion of the fighting championship. But these 2 have had a long, drawn-out rivalry. What can you tell us about these 2 individuals and the story that's got us to where we are right now?
Well, originally, as you saw, if you were there at our first show, go back to the Heart Reel at We Go Again, you saw a brief segment of Frankie T actually slamming Johnny Storm to ground, one of the country's finest. Johnny Storm started wrestling the year I was born, 96. funny enough. But yeah, Frankie T beating Johnny Storm, as we say, you first experience. That is what we're looking to do. Was the champion, but then lost it to Champagne Charlie. Even though both went in saying they'll both be honourable, respectful, whatever happens, the outcome won't matter. They will still be friends. But then the referee, he didn't notice the leg under the rope. And that can't be helped. But then Frankie uses that as a reason to justify his attack on Champagne Charlie seconds after winning the title. It's just madness. Yeah. It's absolute madness.
We've got a lot more to be said about this match and these two individuals in particular. But let's just take a little bit of a trip back to the last show. And after his loss to Champagne Charlie, after he lost his fighting championship to Champagne Charlie, Frankie T had a word with me backstage. John is backstage here at Immortality Awaits, and with the former Immortal Wrestling fighting champion, Frankie T. Come and join me. Frankie, I've got to ask you, I'm sure you're disappointed that you lost your championship, but can you really excuse your actions after that match, attacking Champagne Charlie?
What bloody question is that, John? I thought you were better than that. You saw that injustice out there? My foot was on the rope. The crowd saw it. I'm sure everybody up here saw it. Do you want to rephrase your question, Johners?
Commiserations after losing your championship, but your tactics might be questioned, especially afterwards attacking the new champion, Champagne Charlie.
That is no more than he deserved. He knew my foot was on that rope. Now look, where's my bloody belt? I'm not impressed. Get out of my sight, Johners.
What can you say?
You could tell there, Jay, that he was clearly disappointed with having just lost the championship, and he was obviously not happy with my line of questioning. But one thing we need to bring into the mix is that this match, this grudge match for the fighting championship, is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match, Jay. And the Venom Nightclub, quite a unique nightclub, lots of different areas around that venue that they can tangle and take the fight to. But it adds an extra element to this match, doesn't it? And it adds an extra dynamic and dimension to this fighting championship match. But tell us a little bit about your thoughts regarding this stipulation and who it might favour.
Well, the stipulation is both guys were messaging me personally. I was getting texts during the night. I was like, "Oh, what? Give us an answer. I want this to happen." Then I got Champagne Charlie saying he wants this to happen. Frankie T saying that. I'm like, guys, you're never going to agree on anything. So I'll tell you what. I'll make the decision. It's going to be the Falls Count Anyway at Venom Nightclub. However, no DQ will be in effect.
Wow. Okay.
So both parties have signed waivers. Shit's going to hit the fan.
It's going to go
So
down.
bring your splash guards.
It's going to go down. We did also have a promo from Champagne Charlie, the current champion. He sent this through to us. Let's see what he has to say just a couple of short weeks away from his match, his Falls Count Anywhere match with Frankie T.
Hey there, fans of Immortal Wrestling. It's your fighting champion here, Champagne Charlie. Now, it's been nearly a year now since I won this championship. And since then, I've tried to live up to the name of fighting champion. I've gone all over the place and I've defended this title against anyone who wanted the opportunity, anyone who wanted to step forward, and I've proved myself to try and be a legitimate fighting champion. But there is one name, one blemish, or one black cloud that's on my record, if you pardon the phrase, and that's the former champion, Frankie T. Now, Frankie T, for the last year, has been doing nothing but whine and bitch about the fact that I beat him for the title. And, okay, I admit it. His foot was on the rope, but I didn't see it, and he knows I didn't see it. And even after it happened, I was man of my word. I looked into your eyes, I stuck my hand out, and I promised you a rematch. But then, like a gutless coward, you attacked me, you beat me down, and any respect I had for you went clean out of the window. So guess what, Frankie? Something that you and I both want is going down on the 27th of May at Immortal Kombat at the Venom Nightclub. Falls Count Anywhere, anywhere goes. So when I finally beat you, you'll no longer be able to cry, you'll no longer be able to bitch about it, and for God's sake, you'll no longer be able to have any excuses of how I beat you. So, this is what it's all about. The fighting championship. Okay? So if you want to fight, come and get it. Cheers.
Strong words there from our fighting champion, Champagne Charlie. And he has been a fighting champion. He is not just by name or the fact that he's had the championship for a long time now. He's put his money where his mouth is. He's defended the championship around the UK. And he's put prestige on that championship, hasn't he, Jay?
Yeah, so a few weeks back, we actually celebrated Champagne Charlie's 1 year as champion, and he has been up and down the country, yes. It was at Lockhorns Wrestle Alliance. He faced Ian Frost. He's had a very good spell with the Great British Wrestling Association. Quick shout out to them. Joe Butler and the guys raise charity money. Every show they do is for charity. Great cause. Go and support them. All the money literally goes to the charity. The wrestlers bust their back, their balls, whatever. But Champagne Charlie has always gone there with an open mind, but always a narrow vision. He's open to face anybody, but his eyes will always be set to retain. He's done it in triple threat match. He's done it in singles competition. He's done it even when they tried to stack the odds against him and have a run-in. And yet he is still the fighting champion.
Yeah, he's had several successful title defenses. He's backed it up every single step of the way. And he is what it says it is on the tin, on the belt. He is a fighting champion. He's the fighting champion of Immortal Wrestling. Let's talk about this match next. Because we have a vacant Immortal Wrestling championship.
This can be good.
Immortal Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Championship. So what we've decided, what Jay's decided to do, what Immortal Wrestling Management have decided to do, is to put both the vacant Junior Heavyweight and the vacant Cruiserweight Championship on the line in one match. Both bouts will be on the line with two of the most talented light heavyweights, cruiserweights in the country, with legendary Lion Kid, veteran of the UK scene, 20 plus years, and a firm fan favorite wherever he goes, and of course Xander, the goth daddy, who is a regular at Immortal Wrestling, and this is going to be a tremendous match for the vacant championships, and whoever comes out on top on the 27th of May will be holding both titles aloft and will be the undisputed cruiserweight champion of Immortal Wrestling. But seriously, the talent in this one match alone is definitely worth the price for admission. Veteran Lion Kid versus the Goth Daddies. And what can you tell us about these two? And let's say they've been stalwarts of Immortal Wrestling almost from day one.
So if we're talking about OGs, Lion Kid is the OG of OGs at Immortal Wrestling, former Immortal Championship before we did our reboot. Been on every show since. Kids love him.
Yeah.
Parents respect him. He is one of the most unsung heroes on the British wrestling scene. There is a reason he is called Wholesome, because he is wholesome.
Absolutely. And Goth Daddy Xander, a very interesting character, very, very good on the microphone, great at stirring up the crowd. But in the ring, when the bell rings, he's one of the most talented lightweights in the country.
Words cannot describe how underrated and underbooked and underutilized Xander is. As much as a douchey can be to the wrestlers, whoever he's faced, the dude puts bums in seats. He draws. Words just can't describe Xander or the Goth Daddy as he does it.
Good. Just 2 seconds. Yeah,
just
my hearing's recovered now.
I cannot stress the chemistry these two can have. People have been saying to me, oh, what if you match these two up, which we now have done? They have probably matched them up. And you know what? We've listened to you, the fans. We are giving you this match, the match that you want. Lion Kid versus Xander. First time ever. And could it could things make it any better with the vacant national junior heavyweight and cruiserweight championships being unified together? Whoever walks out will deserve the moniker of champion. But also, let's not forget, Xander is also another accomplice of Damien, who is actually a current active member. Unlike Kelly Gray, Xander is a current active member of the Demon Death Squad. So, who knows? We better keep our eyes open, get security at the ready, because if Damien's going to run in, it's going to take a hell of a lot to stop him, because he's a big man.
Absolutely. And we've actually had word from Lion Kid. He's been in touch with the show. He's been in touch with Immortal Wrestling Management.
That's right.
He sent us a few words for Xander and for the fans in the Westbury Venom Nightclub the 27th of May. Let's hear what Lion Kid had to say.
Immortal Wrestling fans! Lion Kid here with an announcement. I am making my long-awaited return to Westbury, May 27th at the Venom Nightclub, and I'm here to lay down a challenge to the Golf Daddy, Xander. And I have to ask, why do they call you the Golf Daddy? Is there some little golf children running at home? But that to one side for now, Xander. You are the #1 contender to the vacant Immortal Wrestling Cruiserweight Championship. And I am the #1 contender to the also vacant Immortal Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Championship. And I see that you might understand where I'm going with this. Because those two championships, Junior Heavyweight and Cruiserweight, I think we can agree. There's no need for both. They're basically the same thing. So I put the challenge to you, Xander, the Golf Daddy himself, the Lion Kid, and you go one-on-one, and we combine, we unify both championships, and the winner will come out on top as the Immortal Wrestling Cruiser Junior Heavyweight Combined Champion. And Golf Daddy, it's not going to be you. After the match, you're going to have to go home, look your goth wife in the eye, kiss your goth baby on the cheeks, and say that the Lion Kid is the king, and you are nothing but a goth loser! Ah!
I can never keep a straight face watching that. I can never keep a straight
I've
face.
seen ever. That was thank you so much to Lion Kid for sending that in to us. A wonderful promo, and really sets us up and say,
sorry, I still can't.
Absolutely tremendous. Like I say, two of the best talents on the UK scene, Xander and Lion Kid, going up against one another for the vacant light heavyweight championship and cruiserweight championship. One of them will be left standing when all said and done as the undisputed cruiserweight champion.
That is the plan, yeah.
Fantastic match to look forward to. What about this one here? And a bit later on, we're going to talk about Damien and who his challenger or challengers might be in the main event for the National Heavyweight Championship. This is a #1 contenders match, triple threat match between three of the finest UK talent to see who might eventually go on to challenge Damien for his championship, or whoever comes out on top in the main event on the 27th of May. But this triple threat #1 contenders match, you've got Chris Bronson there, and he's been tearing the scene up in the South and the Southwest and pretty much all over the UK in the last year or so. You've got a veteran of the UK scene, the alpha male, the Reese maker, call him what you want. Yeston Reese is going to be the veteran in that triple threat match. And of course, you've got Kay Jutler. We saw Kay in a wonderful main event the last time Immortal Wrestling were in town. Those are three of the finest heavyweights on the UK scene that are going to be gracing Immortal Wrestling fans with their presence on the 27th of May. And the winner will be the new #1 contender to whomever the National Heavyweight Champion is come the end of that show. But give us your thoughts and opinions on the competitors. Obviously, you've got Chris Bronson, Yeston Reese, and Kay Jutler. And what sort of a match the fans can expect from those three?
Where to start is, I think what you should be asking me, John, is where should we start? That is a true clash of heavyweights. As you said, the Stallion, Chris Bronson, current Southwest Wrestling heavyweight champion, appearing at All-Star, Megaslam, Wrestling Society, Southwest Wrestling, and soon to be Immortal Wrestling. British veteran, former World of Sport, when they did the 10 short episodes of it. The Alpha Male, the Reese Maker, as you said, call him what he likes, Yeistin Reese, who is no stranger to either of these two individuals. And then we come to Kay Jutler, another original OG. And fun fact, before we did our reboot, we had the main event. It was a fatal four-way. And one of the participants alongside Lion Kid was actually the man himself, Kay Jutler. Ah. So there's a little bit of history for those who didn't know. Kay Jutler is no stranger to the main event scene at Immortal Wrestling.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's say a lot on the line, a lot at stake. Obviously, all three of those are going to want to walk away as the new number one contender. But like I say, all three of them have been on a hot streak. The Stallion, Chris Bronson, though, like I say, he's one to watch and probably fairly new to a lot of people watching this. But certainly in the next 6 to 12 months, he's going to be absolutely everywhere. And you're lucky enough to have him in Immortal Wrestling, making his Immortal Wrestling debut. And like I say, he's going to be a real treat, a real talent to watch on the 27th of May. So if you haven't already got your tickets, we've already spoken about a few matches that, you know, I'm already excited over. Jay's already excited over. But like I say, that triple threat number one contenders match is absolutely stacked with the best talent from all around the UK. Let's talk about this next one. Now, I know that you are very, very proud to be the owner, the promoter of Immortal Wrestling, and very, very proud to have the King of England Championship defended on Immortal Wrestling, in Immortal Wrestling rings. And it's a relatively new championship. But it's steeped in lineage, it's steeped in history. But tell us about the King of England Championship, first of all, what the origins are behind it, and why you decided to bring it to Immortal Wrestling.
So, I don't know if anybody's aware, but earlier this year, February, was the 20-year anniversary when Jody Fleisch won the King of England tournament for FWA. And no one really talks about it. And it's funny enough, I was actually going through Cage Match and I was looking up some of Jody's past matches and his accolades. And I noticed, and it got me thinking, it was a one-off show. He had a pendant presented to him. I think it was the Dynamite Kid who came out. And I was like, fair enough, King of England. Why didn't... FWA may not be around, but why has nobody continued this? It's an amazing lineage. The characters, the talent who competed in that tournament, from the likes of Eddie Guerrero, Doug Williams, Johnny Storm, Jody Fleisch, just to name a few, yet hardly anybody talks about it. So I did what I thought would be different out there. Have a belt made unlike anything else. Now, people have said, is it a tribute to the $1 Million Championship? It's based on that, but it doesn't draw its lineage from there. It draws its lineage from FWA when was it at the Crystal Palace Arena in London, I believe? It was live. I think it was live streamed on Spike TV as well. It just baffled me how nobody decided to try and at least pay tribute to this amazing homage. And that's what we did at Immortality Awaits with the new inaugural, I guess you could say, Immortal Wrestling King of England champion, but it is actually just the King of England Championship, not Immortal. There is only one King of England, and it's not King Charles.
Wow. Obviously, it's very apt because we've got the coronation tomorrow. But before we talk about the King of England Championship match that's going to be taking place in the Venom Nightclub in Westbury, let's hear a few words from RKJ, from Ricky Knight Jr., the first champion, the inaugural champion of the King of England Championship. He had words with me after the last show. Join us backstage here at Immortal Wrestling. Immortality Awaits. I'm with the brand new King of England champion, Ricky Knight Jr. That's a hefty bit of hardware there. How do you feel?
On top of the world. You know how it is. You know when you come to a new company, a new town, and the first time you come, you leave with gold. It's a bittersweet feeling. I'm happy to be here. The fans are great. And now it's time to move forward onto who's next.
Absolutely. But before we move next, you have just faced 3 of your family members in the ring at the same time. Hell of a match. The fans loved it. You fought throughout the Venom Nightclub here. Give us your thoughts on the match. It was pretty hard hitting at times, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to get when you book family. All those times we didn't do the dishes, all the times there's a bit of banter going back and forth, it all comes out and we get away with it. So it's the best part. It's always going to be hard, but at the end of the day, tonight was my night. I come away with the win. I come away with the gold. And like I say, it's time to move forward now.
Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see who faces you when you come back to Westbury for the King of England Championship. But Ricky Knight Jr., thank you so much for your time. There we go. And after hearing from Ricky Knight Jr. at the last show, I think it's only fair that we see who he's going to be facing at the next one. And that is
drum roll, please.
The heavy hitter, Malik. He won't be coming alone, though. He'll be bringing his manager, Costa. And there is the troublesome twosome there. But Malik has been doing fantastic things around the UK and over the last 12 months or so with Progress. And of course, RKJ, not only is he the Immortal Wrestling King of England champion, he's recently become the Progress Atlas Division champion as well as numerous other titles that he's picked up over the last couple of years. But looking there, RKJ versus Malik, 2 of the best and finest individuals on the UK scene. You've put them together in a match for the King of England Championship. Jay, you must be excited for this one, but give us your thoughts and what's on your mind when it comes to this match on the 27th of May.
Again, it's another thing I'm lost for words. As you were saying, Malik having a constant ongoing spell of progress. He just came off a rivalry with AEW's the governor, Antonio Ogogo, with Costa. Was it and they thought it was all over? Costa actually spat in the face of Dan Maloney and then felt the full wrath of the tag team. The driller driver, Antonio Ogogo absolutely mashed Costa up like mashed potato. I'm not that familiar with him, but I am now.
It was impressive, for sure.
It was insane. The fact that Costa had the balls, he was like pissed off. He was sort of leaving Malik to do all the work, and Malik wasn't afraid to get his hand dirty. He's known as the hitter for a reason. Little homage to Simon Miller there doing the announcing. Thank you, Simon. But he wasn't afraid, even though Ogogo's like twice his size. Malik didn't back down. He didn't give a frick. But then when it came to Costa, he let it all out. He went punches going, but it didn't face Dan Maloney or Antonio Ogogo. And then again, you say Ricky Knight Jr. just won natural progression, didn't he? Came out on the end, had an amazing finals match with the greatest wrestler to ever walk planet Earth, Tate Mayfairs, who you've actually interviewed before, Johners.
Several times, but let's not big him up too much. We don't want Tate's ego to go too out of control. Please continue.
Yeah, and then after natural progression, going on to beat the Beast of Belfast himself for the Progress title, former Sanity member, former WWE NXT Tag Team Champion. Damo, it was absolutely insane. I'm gutted that I missed that due to family commitments. But
the
from
caliber of these two, Jay, as you've just explained, just in the last 12 months, the caliber of these two is some of the finest in the UK for sure.
It's something unreal, John. It's something unreal. And also, just saying, at the last Progress show, I don't know if any of you follow the Progress socials, but if you do, they are great friends of ours. Lee, Martin, much love to you. You've given us a lot of advice and help with more, so thank you very much right there. But they've just introduced a beautiful new Atlas title. And if you haven't seen it already, go to the Progress socials, check it out. Ricky looking amazing in his suit. showing off the gold. He's going to be an amazing Atlas champion. He is an amazing Atlas champion, and he will go on to be the best Atlas heavyweight champion. But at the same time, he's the King of England. He will go on to be the greatest king that England has ever had, or ever will have. And I will stand by that statement till the day I die.
Absolutely. I think if you're a wrestling fan, the only coronation you want to be a part of is Ricky Knight Jr. Being crowned the King of England. But that's going to be a fantastic championship match. It'll be his first title defense as well for the King of England Championship, going up against the hitter Malik. And don't forget that kind of factor, that hidden element outside, or probably not so hidden, but you've got Costa out there on the outside, Malik's manager, who likes to get involved. I don't think he likes being hit as much as he likes to shout his mouth off a little bit, for sure. But that's going to be an entertaining one.
Oh, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt.
We've actually had we get in touch, and Frankie T is watching us live by YouTube. Hi, Frankie.
There we go.
If he caught our part earlier on, where we was hyping up his match with Charlie, the Falls Count Anywhere match, of course, for the Fighting Championship. Frankie T goes on to say, Champagne Charlie's future is in your hands. He admits his mistake and hands me the title I should not have lost, or steps into the ring with me and it becomes a funeral. So hard words there, stern words from Frankie T. A little bit of a warning for Champagne Charlie. I think you said it earlier better than I ever could. Falls Count Anywhere, no DQ. They got the Venom Nightclub that they're going to battle from pillar to post, backwards and forwards between the current fighting champion, the former fighting champion. That's going to be a tremendous battle. That's not going to be a battle. That's going to be a war, Jay. And Frankie T, thank you for getting in touch. We really
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Wait to see you very soon at the Immortal Kombat in the Venom Nightclub, of course. Now,
looks like some more insurance we're going to have to take out now, because Frankie's saying it's going to be a funeral. That's more insurance we have to now fork out for. So thank you for adding to the cost, Frankie. We really do appreciate that of you.
We would also like to reiterate that Immortal Kombat has been advertised as a family show, ladies and gentlemen. A family
yes,
show.
Let's not forget that.
There'll be no funerals. There'll be no funerals.
No, there won't. There won't, will there, Frankie? Charlie.
One of the first announcements that you made as the owner, the promoter of Immortal Wrestling, when Immortal Kombat first went on sale, was this gentleman here. Johnny Storm, legendary Johnny Storm, is set to appear at Immortal Kombat. Now, at the moment, as far as we are aware, Jay, there's been no match announced for Johnny Storm. But like I say, he's been kind of a figurehead, or say one of the mainstays of Immortal Wrestling for a very long time now. We saw him a couple of shows back. He's going to be making his return at Immortal Kombat, and it's always a pleasure to see Johnny Storm on any card. A legend of the business. You mentioned that he made his debut the year you were born. I think you said 1998.
96, that's right, yeah.
96, so 27-year career. And he is, of course, the Wonder Kid, Johnny Storm. But like I say, we don't know what sort of presence he might have on the show. We don't know what sort of involvement he's going to have on the show. He might just be there for the meet and greet. You never know. He might just be there to sell some merch, shake some hands, kiss some babies. Who knows? But Jay, it's always a pleasure to have Johnny Storm at the show. I mean, what can you tell us?
Well, I sort of signed an NDA, so I can't say too much.
Okay.
However, I will say Johnny Storm is not just making a quick appearance. It's not just going to be in the ring on the mic. He will be there for the duration of the show.
In one capacity or another. Absolutely.
Whatever that may be. That is what the NDA, I cannot disclose, obviously, what capacity he will be in, because both parties have agreed. We put pen to paper for the NDA, so I can't say any more on that. But yes, he will be there. He is confirmed. Yeah, and speak of that, actually, he's also doing a training seminar at All-Star Wrestling South in Salisbury before, and I believe it's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you're interested and want to learn from Johnny, get in touch with Joel Redman, Niwa, or Bullet. Go to their Facebook or their Instagram I believe it's only £20 a person. Not bad for 3 hours with well-travelled, multi-time champion, Wonder Kid himself, Britain's very own Johnny Storm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's really only one way that you can find out what Johnny Storm's involvement is going to be on the day, and that's by being there. There's a big old QR code on your screen. Get your phones out, scan the QR code. It will take you straight to Eventbrite, or go to eventbrite.com and type in Immortal Wrestling. But the simplest way, the best way, is by scanning the QR code, and that will take you straight to Eventbrite, where you can get your ticket or tickets today. And as Jay rightly said earlier on, tickets are selling quick. It's likely to be a sellout. There are a good handful of tickets still available, but you need to be there to see all the many matches that we've already spoken about, to see the Wonder Kid Johnny Storm, and of course to see the next couple of matches we're going to talk about. We've got a couple of exclusives during this live interview with Jay White from Immortal Wrestling. One exclusive will be a bit later on, but you promised me that there would be another exclusive. Now, something you have in your possession in your front room there, Jay, that you'd like to kind of show the audience at home?
I don't remember saying that. And how do you know it's my front room? Have you been stalking me, Jonas?
Jay, don't stitch me up here. You was going to show us something very exciting, weren't you? Something very exciting.
Okay, you got me there. So it was announced a while back on the socials that we were having tag team titles made. Got a huge response. I think we capped over 60 likes on the Instagram itself. A load of people love the design. Massive shout out to the designers and creator JFX 3D. They are some of the best belt products in the UK. They make for WAW, Immortal, of course. I think they made Southwest Wrestling's Heavyweight Championship, held by the Stallion Chris Bronson. Even ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, up in Scotland, pretty much on par. They are Scotland's Progress, if you were to say. So here with me, I have one half of the Immortal Wrestling tag team titles. I don't know if you can see that. Weighs a bit. I think it weighs about 4.5 kg. At Immortal Wrestling, we like our belts to be heavy.
Show them again, Jay. Show them again. Let's have a proper look. Look at that. It's beautiful. And you see some companies and they've got, very, very basic, almost kind of kids championship belts, one step above
default designs,
what you would get in Toys R Us. All of Jay's championships are legit, beautiful, heavy, well crafted, and they are legit wrestling championships that you want to kind of be proud enough to own and to call your own. Any plans? What are your plans regarding the tag team titles? You probably can't give away any names, any matches, but have you got any kind of date or any months in mind as to when these might be put on the line for the first time?
Okay, well, I'll give you a little spoil. We're looking at maybe doing another 2 or 3 shows at Venom later this year. Down the line, we're definitely going to be doing another one at Venom. And the match to crown our tag team champions, it's what a lot of people said it's going to be a clusterfuck, but that's what we want. We want it to be interesting and different. A fatal 4-way elimination tag team match to crown first ever tag team champions.
Right. No, that would be absolutely fantastic. Can't wait for that. As you are aware, I'm a huge tag team wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the next match now. And this is for the Immortal Wrestling Women's Championship. Nightshade, the current defending champion, going up against Aluna Blue. Now, these two have a little bit of history in an Immortal Wrestling ring. Like I say, these two will be facing off. Since we first saw Aluna Blue last year, well over a year ago now, her star has risen. She's branched out all over the country. She's progressed in her talent. Now she could be considered one of the best female performers in the Southwest, certainly. Trains at the New Wave Wrestling Academy in South Wales with Bronco, Brendan White, and all the fantastic talent there. Nightshade, since we last saw her, has travelled all over the world, Japan, Spain, and various other places. Still the Immortal Wrestling Women's Champion. These two, I think there's going to be a bit of a difference since when they last fought, because Aluna Blue has progressed so much more as a talent. I think it's going to be a different Aluna Blue to the one we saw last year when they last fought in an Immortal ring. But give us your thoughts on these two, Jay.
Well, go back. Aluna Blue, I've got nothing but praise to give her. She's come leaps and bounds. She's honed her craft. She recently made her debut in Spain at the same promotion that Nightshade is the current women's champion of. She's currently known as Shady Four Belts. And that all started when she claimed the Immortal Women's Championship at Immortality Works against Karama and Aluna Blue. But also, going on from there, Nightshade, touring regular in Japan, regular in Spain, regular Pro Wrestling Eve, currently holding 4 belts. I don't know how she manages to take all these abroad. She must have to pay extra fees for the baggage because they're not light, especially our titles. They're not light. And I just want to say, this isn't the first time these two have locked up in a singles. They did that earlier this year at Wrestling Society UK. Very good promotion, lovely run. They run around Portishead, Swindon, Cardiff, run by Nadia Sapphire, lovely person. But yeah, if you haven't checked them out before, honestly, please go and check them out. Great group of people. And Chris Bronson, a lot of Immortal guys and girls wrestle for Wrestling Society UK. So go and check them out.
Absolutely. This is going to be a fantastic women's championship match. And we had a few words from Nightshade come through. She had some words for Aluna Blue. Let's play that interview now.
Aluna Blue, I've beaten you before, and on May 27th, I will beat you again to remain the Immortal Women's Champion.
Short, straight, and to the point. That is your champion, and that is how she is. Nightshade, straight to the point.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about the very best UK talent, regardless of gender, male or female, these two are top of the list. With the rise and the progression of Aluna Blue, she's had a lot of success in 2022 and 2023 already. Definitely. And Nightshade considered one of the best female performers, one of the best UK talents anywhere in the UK. That's going to be a tremendous match. Now, before we talk about our final match, I've just had word come through. My director's speaking to me now. We've actually had Johnny Storm. He sent through a bit of a message for us ahead of his appearance at the Venom Nightclub on the 27th. Now, thank you, Johnny, for sending this through.
Thank you. Let's hear it. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Hey, wrestling fans, this is the Wonder Kid Johnny Storm, and I'm here to tell you that coming the 27th of May this year at the Venom Nightclub in Westbury, I'm coming to the Immortal Wrestling. Now, I've been here before, and these are some awesome shows with some great talent. I haven't been told who I'm wrestling that night, but I guarantee you, May 27th, when Johnny Storm comes back to Immortal Wrestling, you're going to be in for one hell of a night. British wrestling rules. I'll see you, Immortal.
There we go. And as we said, it's always a pleasure to have Johnny Storm on an Immortal Wrestling card. It's going to be fantastic to see him in just a few short weeks, 27th of May, from the nightclub in Westbury. And just because I brought it up once or twice already, there's the QR code. Get your phones out, scan that QR code. It will take you straight to Eventbrite where you can get your tickets today. Like I say, there's a good handful still remaining, but it is likely to be a sellout. So make sure that you get your tickets now. Do not disappoint. And now we've got our second exclusive of the show, Jay. And you've not announced this yet. You've not put out the graphic. You've mentioned all the others on your socials. But this is probably the biggest exclusive we're going to have today. And now,
save it just for you, Johners. Just for you.
Well, I'm privileged, and Sacrifice Pro, they gave me an exclusive just 2 days ago, so plenty of exclusives dropping on the Wrestling with Johners podcast. But Jay, Mr. Immortal Wrestling, I'm going to let you introduce this one. The floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, aunties and uncles, grandmas and granddads, buckle up, because your main event for Immortal Kombat is a fatal four-way elimination match. Jonas, bring it up.
There we go. Talk us through the combatants there that's going to be involved in the main event for the National Heavyweight Championship. Let's
start better than the king of hell himself, the champion, Damien. Currently, as I said, the current National Heavyweight Champion recently broke over the 500-day mark as champion, undefeated in Immortal Wrestling. To his left, the challenger, Dalton Garrett, original Immortal Wrestling OG, undefeated even since before the reboot. He won a number one contenders match at We Go Again, surviving 5 other stars, one of which contained England's very own Jody Fleisch, picking up the win by stunning the Emperor Drake Winter. And then to the far right, you see one of this man can only be described as the most universal wrestler, in my opinion, to ever grace the British scene, CJ Rollins. The dude's got 2-3 championships right now alone, and on come May 27th at Immortal Kombat, could this be a 4th? We do not know. And then this man he's mysterious, he's cunning, he's conniving. It's Jack Selstrom.
There we go. What a lineup. What an incredible lineup, Jay. What an incredible lineup. You've kind of almost outdone yourself there with the talent involved in that main event, not least the talent that's involved in the whole show. But I'm going to keep that graphic up for a bit longer, because
please do, please. It is a gorgeous one,
but also because it's got 4 fantastic talents, like you say, OG Dalton Garrett, who won that number one contenders match a couple of shows back. He's just recovered from quite a serious injury. He's making his return to Immortal Wrestling to challenge Damien, the heavyweight champion. Jack Selstrom, one of the hottest talents on the UK scene in 2023, and CJ Rawlins, the bout collector of UK. He's got 3 or 4 championships under his belt, really looking to add to his collection at Immortal Kombat. And for anybody that might not be too familiar with our champion, the National Heavyweight Champion, Damien, right now, as Jay said, he's just surpassed over 500 days as champion. But we do have a little video highlighting Damien, and to tell you what tremendous talent, what a tremendous veteran of the UK scene he is. This was made to celebrate his 1-year anniversary as champion, but look at what a devastating character and force Damien is.
Let's go, Damien!
Wow.
The 1 year.
Intimidating, devastating Damien. And yes, like I say, he's not going to be looking to give up his championship too easily or anytime soon. Over 500 days now, you were telling us. But look at the competition there. Dalton Garrett, Jack Selstrom, CJ Rawlins. You've got a mixture of experience levels, a mixture of abilities, but what it does boil down to, Jay, is that's going to be a tremendous match, fatal 4-way for the National Heavyweight Championship. Any final thoughts on that match in particular?
I'm just lost for words. It's
clearly,
again, it's something that doesn't normally happen in this day in wrestling. Long title reigns. You're going back NWA, WWF, Bruno Sammartino, Harley Race, Ric Flair. They had the long reigns, and no, not slacking Damien, but obviously this title reign is nothing compared to how long they've held it. But Damien's making a good start, and we've seen him. He's absolutely annihilated Lion Kid, as you saw right there. And at the last show, he destroyed Cam Solas, Yastin Rees, and Cage Utler. So he's no stranger to multi-man matches. I personally think he relishes it. It might even just be some sick fetish.
The more
Every
bodies
time
that he
when
can better, the better.
he takes great pleasure in it.
Absolutely.
This man is deranged, but who's going to stop him? Look, I'm just one man. I can't stop him. Sure, I'm the owner. You think if I try to take that belt off him, how do you think he's going to respond to me? You saw him destroy Lion Kid.
Not even authority figures.
You saw him destroy Lion Kid. And Lion Kid's physique is fantastic. I'm nothing but a fat blob. What's he going to do? I can't do anything.
Jay, we've had Immortal Wrestling ring announcer Scott Thomas get in touch. And I'm going to bring up Scott's message now. I'd love to see CJ with a bout, but he doesn't think that Damien is going to give it up anytime soon or all that easy. And Scott's got a great point. I think Damien has been a dominant force. He's been, a dominant champion without any stretch of the imagination. And any one of those three opponents are going to have the match of their life to take the title off of our current national heavyweight champion, Damien. But if you were to choose three individuals that could possibly do that, you've got Dalton Garrett, you've got Jack Selstrom, you've got CJ Rawlins, three of the best in the UK. If it's going to be anybody, it could very well be one of those three.
The thing is, alliances may form in this match, but let's not forget, it's an elimination match. Only one person can walk out. Once you get pinned, you're out the match. There's no restart, there's no nothing. You tap, your shoulders down for the free, you're out of that match. So form alliances by all means, but Damien doesn't even have to be pinned to end for the main event. It could be CJ Rollins, Dalton Garrett. It could be Damien, and Damien might make it to the main event versus Jack Selstrom. CJ Rollins, I don't know. They could. The size of these men and what they're capable of, we might have to reinforce the ring. Who knows? But if I was a betting man, and I haven't been a betting man since England had that terrible tour over against the All Blacks because they only beat the Maoris and they lost like 3 other games. Stop betting since then. Oh, I'd have to say CJ Rollins without a shadow of a doubt. Wow. He's young, upcoming, hungry. But the thing is, he's already raising the bar, and he's already met the bar that these guys are at, and he's continuing to raise it now at his own level.
And speaking of bars, there is a bar at the Venom Nightclub. So if you want to get down there, it's free parking, merchandise, and there's a bar.
We do priority seating. So if anybody has any special requirements, please either let one of us know on the day. We can let you in early. We can accommodate people with learning difficulties, sound issues, visual awareness, anything. Please contact me. Wrestling Immortal below is for Instagram and Twitter. More active on the Instagram. Try to be on the Twitter, but everyone's a bit funny about Twitter. Or on the Facebook at Immortal Wrestling IW.
We'll ask you. Well, we probably don't need to ask you anymore for your socials, but we'll go through your socials again one more time a bit later on. But
please, John, please, yeah.
Quickly go through the matches as we've already announced them. We spoke earlier on at the top of the show. Callie Gray versus Tommy Lawrence. That's going to be a number one contenders match for the Cruiserweight Championship. 2 tremendous talents there going for their chance, their opportunity, their shot at a Cruiserweight Championship match somewhere down the line. Then we spoke about Champagne Charlie, the current fighting champion, defending against former champion Frankie T. We heard what Frankie T had to say to me after his last match when he lost the fighting championship to Champagne Charlie. That's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. And Jay's just told us it's going to be a no DQ as well. And then, of course, we're going to have the unification for the vacant Immortal Wrestling Cruiserweight Championship and the Immortal Wrestling Light Heavyweight Championship to have the undisputed Cruiserweight Championship match between 2 of the finest cruiserweights in the UK, Lion Kid, veteran of the UK scene, going up against Xander, one of the most entertaining, one of the best cruiserweights in the UK. And then we've got the number one contenders match for the national heavyweight title.
The slobber knocker.
That's it. You've got the Stallion, Chris Bronson. You've got the Reese Maker, the alpha male, Yeston Reese, and Kay Jutler, Immortal Wrestling regular. And that's going to be a tremendous triple threat match to see who comes out on top to potentially take on Damien or whoever wins the main event of the show. Then we've got RKJ defending his King of England Championship for the first time against the hitter Malik, with manager Costa on the outside. Two tremendous talents that have done amazing things across the UK and Progress, and now Immortal Wrestling. You can see that beautiful King of England Championship over RKJ's shoulder there. Those two are going to be going to war over that bout on the 27th of May. We spoke about Johnny Storm. He is set to appear. We heard Johnny's interview and promo. We will have to see what impact he has. Yeah, I think he's there a little bit more than just to shake hands and sell a few t-shirts, but what capacity will Johnny Storm get involved? And then, of course, the Immortal Wrestling Women's Championship, Nightshade versus Aluna Blue. Nightshade will be putting her title on the line against somebody that Nightshade knows very well, Aluna Blue. They fought the last time Immortal Wrestling were in town, but it's a different Aluna Blue to what we saw more than 12 months ago. That's going to be an amazing match for the Women's Championship. And exclusively on the Wrestling with Jonas podcast, the owner, promoter of Immortal Wrestling, Jay White, has just announced this tremendous fatal four-way elimination match for the National Heavyweight Championship. Damien puts his title on the line. Remember, over 500 days he's been champion. He's going to be defending it against not one, not two, but three of the finest, biggest guys, biggest names on the UK scene. Dalton Garrett, Jack Selstrom, CJ Rawlins. That's going to be an amazing main event. 7 matches we've spoken about there, Jay. A tremendous card. When you kind of have to sum it up, and like I said, we're only a few weeks away from that show, the 27th of May from the Venom Nightclub in Westbury. When you have to sum it up, how would you, what are your feelings now that we've kind of hyped up and spoke about their matches? You must be even more excited.
You've got me excited, you're buzzing. It's making me feel like it's show day right now. But a little bit of breaking news. I have just had a message from Jack Selstrom himself. At some point next week, he will be sending over a clip so you can hear his thoughts ahead of the main event. That's breaking news right here, right now on the Wrestling with Jonas podcast.
Oh, I like all these exclusives. You're spoiling me. You're spoiling me. We'll have one more.
Get used to it.
We'll have one more kind of hard sales pitch from yourself as to why we should be getting tickets for Immortal Kombat very, very soon. But before we sign off and before we say goodbye to our very good friend Jay White, I just want to announce who my remaining guests are for the month of May. Now, we did them earlier on, but of course, my guest next week, and whereas this week I've had 3 interviews, next week I'm down to 1, so I can have a little bit more R&R and stress-free time. But we got the Prince of Pace, Callum Newman, coming on to the show. And that's going to be next Wednesday, as a matter of fact. So just 5 days away, Wednesday, the 10th of May, 8 p.m. UK time. The Prince of Pace, Callum Newman. He doesn't do many of these things. He doesn't do many interviews.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He'll be live on the Wrestling with Jonas podcast next Wednesday at 8 p.m. And as mentioned, we've got the host of the Nina Samuels show, former WWE NXT UK star, the current Riot Cabaret Women's Champion, Nina Samuels, will be coming on to the Wrestling with Jonas episode 300. Can you believe it? We're finally up to episode 300. A live and exclusive, 8 p.m. Monday the 15th, if I can get the day right. Monday the 15th.
Yeah.
8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. over on the eastern board of the United States for all of my American and Canadian followers. You're going to want to catch up. When you're going to want to watch my interview with Callum Newman, you're definitely going to want to watch my interview with Nina Samuels. And I've put a handy little scan me QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of the poster there. So if you scan that, that will take straight through to the event page on YouTube, where you can hit subscribe and set a reminder for that date and for that time so that you do not miss out. But this is what we've been talking about today. Immortal Kombat from the Venom Nightclub in Westbury, the 27th of May. When do the doors open, Jake? Do you give us a bit of information about when doors are, when the show starts, all that good stuff?
All the details are in the fine print on the poster, Jonas. I'm very sorry there. But as you can... Pardon?
We're live, pal. Carry on.
As you can see, the doors open at 5:30. We look to go at 6.
Yes.
Finish before 9. Who knows? There may be an extra match or two add to the card. We don't know. Subject to availability, people might maybe right now, maybe injury. We do not know, but we'll keep you all updated as best we can. But do not forget, get your phones out right now. Scan that QR code. Go to Eventbrite and get your tickets for Immortal Kombat, May 27th at the Venom Nightclub in Westbury. Shit's gonna get real.
And the other thing is, it's going to be the best, most well-attended show in Immortal Wrestling history. You're going to want to be part of that show. You're going to want to be part of history, ladies and gents, and that tremendous card. 7 tremendous matches already been announced. There might be another one on the day. We don't know. You've got Johnny Storm set to appear. You've got some of the finest talents. You know, Damien, RKJ, Malik, Yeston Reese, Chris Bronson, Aluna Blue, Nightshade, and so on and so on and so on and so on. UK talent and local talent from around the region. But Jay White, not Switchblade Jay White, but Immortal Wrestling Jay White.
I wish.
Go on.
Little fact for everybody. His name's not actually Jay White. If you look it up, I think it's spelled differently. However, mine is legally, as his is, Jay White. So maybe I should trademark, instead of Switchblade, the original Jay White.
There we go. And Scott Thomas has been in touch with us again.
Oh, Scott.
I honestly can't wait to get back home at Immortal Wrestling and the Venom Nightclub. We can't wait to see you again, Scott.
We can't wait to see you. We missed you, mate. We love you.
And close to being sold out. So, like I say, a good handful of tickets still available. But now is the opportunity. Do not wait. Do not delay. Now is the opportunity to get your tickets so that you're not the one kind of left outside the Venom Nightclub, not being able to get in when everybody else is enjoying that fantastic action. But Jay, just so that my followers and listeners and viewers out there know where to get hold of you and Immortal Wrestling, to find out more about Immortal Wrestling, maybe to get links to Eventbrite to get tickets, or just to kind of reach out, say hi, and get information on Immortal and all the talent involved in that tremendous roster, where can they do so? And if it helps, I've got it running along the bottom of the screen.
As you can say, as John says, scrolling along. Sorry, there's my big finger. The big one. Scrolling along the bottom right now. Twitter and Instagram, Wrestle Immortal. Facebook, Immortal Wrestling, IW. I try to respond as quickly as I can. I'm a one-man team. I wish I could say one-man wrecking crew, but I'm not. I'm just one man. But then again, I just want to give one shout-out. These graphics could not have been possible without a very dear friend. The man himself, actually. Now, here's me doing my little interview, I guess, little segment. The man himself, Jonas, thank you so very much for designing these absolutely beautiful graphics for the fan, not only for Immortal Wrestling, but for the fans. So for that, I thank you. And thank you for having me a guest again ahead of Immortal Kombat, May 27th at the Venom Nightclub.
There we go. Jay, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll see you May the 27th, Immortal Kombat for Immortal Wrestling at the Venom Nightclub. And great to see you again. Thanks for being a fantastic guest. Don't forget to get your tickets, and we'll see you all again soon.
Click the cue.